2 weeks, the designers have basically just been finishing up the design. We did a lot of prototyping with the claw especially, and that was actually one of the main challenges we faced, was designing the claw, because most of the robot was reliant on the claw, and so it took about 2 weeks to actually finish a full design that we were proud of. And so putting it on the robot came with a lot of adjusting the lift and where we're placing everything, so a lot of stuff was just relying on what our claw was looking like. So this week we actually started fabricating stuff. Since we had something solidified in the design, such as the elevator and like the supports for that, we just had them start cutting that. And we recently got a bunch of metal shipped in, so we actually have been cutting the sides for the serve drive so that it's more finalized and it looks nicer and it's more secure. And then we've actually started fabricating the claw pieces, so a lot of routing has been done with Lexan and cutting a lot of churros and standoffs on the lathe.
This week we finished the charging station and grid. We did take a temporary pause because in the middle of building we realized we needed some extra supplies like wood, hinges, and bolts. So that's why, due to the pause, we were able to finish all the steel elements. Some of the other challenges we faced was just kind of the overall size of these steel elements. I know the grid is 18 feet, and I know for the full charge station that we built, the final is 200 pounds, and it was 8 by 4 feet. So it's definitely hard to maneuver and transport around. With everyone's help, we were able to move it around and all. With a pause, we were able to also practice welding, which was a nice break.
So the last 2 weeks, programmers have been practicing command-based programming because it helped us get started in the serve drive. The template we found was in command-based programming, and there was very limited amount of resources using the serve drive and time-based robot. Some challenges, we're getting used to the structure of it, because in Time Robot, it's just you have your classes, and in those classes, you have your methods that you use. But in command-based programming, it's split into 2 different parts. There's subsystems and then there's commands. Some people, especially the new programmers, they started practicing PID, and this week we are continuing in command-based programming, but we have also started our official subsystem code. So we have been partnered up by our programming mentor, Ross and Jason, and we are assigned each pair a subsystem. So for example, Giancarlo and I are doing the claw, Jovi and Kiani are doing the Navix.
So last week we worked on creating calculators, which was like a little exercise for JavaScript people to do. Once we were finished with those, we uploaded our repositories to GitHub and emailed those to Jason, which is one of our mentors. He's currently looking at them right now, and he's going to review it with us on Saturday, tomorrow. So we've been working on the design of how we want the scouting form and the table. And there are like a few things that we need to go over with Jason and the strategy team, because we want to make sure we're collecting and putting the data in the right spots. We've been designing the form and the table layout for how we want the scouting app. So we've been talking with our past strategy captain and seeing like what worked for him and what didn't. So we're altering it to make those changes for this year to make sure that we're getting the most accurate data possible. For this year, we're going to be trying out some new things for the app. We're going to be pulling other APIs from the Blue Alliance to get more accurate information. So we're going to be using more and different React and React table hooks to make plugging in data more efficient and easier for the scouters.